Model 70 the best hunting rifle of all time? Let's talk about that. Hey y'all, my name's Half-Cocked Hilbilly, and today I'm so excited talking about potentially the best hunting rifle of all time, the Winchester Model 70.
Some people don't. Pollution. People.
Now guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, leave a comment down below of what your first hunting rifle was, and how sad you are that it wasn't the Winchester Model 70.
Pollution.
Now guys, before we get too much into it today, real quick, we are going to be handling firearms in this video. Anytime you see me handling firearms or ammunition on this YouTube channel, I'm in a controlled environment and I have 20 years experience. If you want to handle guns, make sure you're not a dumbass redneck. Do it in a safe environment, and if you don't know how to do it, make sure you're with someone who does know how to do it. So as y'all could see, I'm in a little bit different of an environment today. As I told you earlier, life's been a little crazy. So right now we're in Pawpaw's shop. I kind of like the vibe in here. It feels like a cross between Santa's workshop and a museum. All right, y'all, so with that being said, let's get to the meat and potatoes. I've had a lot of different hunting rifles in my lifetime. I started life with this Remington 710. It's chambered in 243, and it was topped with the Burris scope, and later replaced with a redfeild 3x9. This was a great starter rifle for me. I was around 10 years old. The heavy weight of this rifle, combined with the light 243 cartridge, was a great way to get my feet wet when it came to hunting rifles. The next up, I had a Ruger M77 Hawkeye chambered in 280 Remington, and I did take my first year with that rifle and I absolutely loved it. And despite the fact that it was a little kicky, I still loved its effectiveness. A few years later, I inherited this Browning BAR Safari chambered in 300 Winchester Magnum. Honestly, this rifle for me was kind of the complete package. I inherited this from my grandfather, and this was his favorite rifle. It shoots pretty accurately, and it has a capacity of 3+1 and 300 Win Mag. And despite that, it's really soft shooting. So for about 10 years, this was my hunting rifle of choice. Despite the weight, it was really easy to shoot, and it could take any game here on North America that I could want to take down. And quite honestly, I did not see a need for another hunting rifle in my life. There's other firearms that needed to fill other voids.
Raising.
But then my life changed. Unfortunately, my mom's parents are starting to get up there in age, and they had to move into an assisted living facility, which doesn't allow guns, which is very unbased of them. But because of that, my grandfather gave us some of our inheritance a little early. The rifle I ended up with was this beautiful Winchester Model 70, chambered in 270 Winchester. And this is actually a pre-64. Just to give you a little heads up, I don't know if I'm going to stop drooling over this rifle for the rest of the video. So before we start drooling over this, I just want to introduce you to the Model 70. So the 270 Winchester was introduced to the world in 1936 in 270 Winchester. The rifle's action was a copy of the German 1898 action, which had become incredibly popular, especially after the First World War. In present day, we refer to this action type as the Mauser action. And even though there are newer and more different actions, it's still very popular to this day. The reason why the pre-64 Model 70s are coveted is because in 1964, the Winchester changed the way they made their action. This here is the Mauser style action. As you can see here, the gun's unloaded. This bolt has a claw style extractor, and that has to do with the controlled round feeding mechanism. Now, post-64, these became a little bit more like their competition, the Remington 700. This here's a Remington 700 chambered in 7mm Magnum. I'm not saying it looks the same as the Model 70, but it doesn't look a whole lot different. The action is completely different. So here you can see we don't have that claw-style extractor. It's just two lugs and a round bolt. I do think this is an absolutely gorgeous rifle. You see this wonderful jeweled bolt here. The action is so smooth. I don't know if you can hear it. And then it has this awesome bluing that you just do not see in most rifles today. While this gun was really stiff competition to the Model 70, the one thing that the Model 70 had over the Remington 700 was its reliability. Now, as you can see here, I'm actually struggling to load this. That's because this push round is a much simpler operation, but it just does not work as well as that control round feed does. So the other problem I have is that sometimes that gun does not pick up the round in the chamber, which is not a big deal if you're hunting normal sized game, but if you're trying to harvest dangerous game, or if you're in a war zone, that could get you killed. there was a whole lot of years that people sought after the discontinued Mauser style action of the Winchester Model 70. The reason that people love this Mauser style action is because of its control round feeding system. As you can see here, the controlled round feeding system helps reliably cycle each round from the magazine onto the bolt into the chamber. After about 30 years in 1991, Winchester went back to the Mauser style action for their legacy line of the Model 70. And if you go on Winchester's website today, all Model 70s are made with the original Mauser style action, which just warms my heart. Now, besides handling the newest line of Model 70s, I have zero experience. But what I can speak for is there's a reason why these pre-64 Winchesters are coveted. Because holy crap, they just work. Maybe the boomers are right. So first off, just this gun is easily a 1-minute gun. I don't consider myself a great shooter, and this gun made me feel like I could shoot anything. I'm sure in a more skilled marksman's hands, this gun will bullet hole almost everything. So with that being said, I've shot a handful of different ammunition types at 50 and 100 yards, but I don't think the 50-yard groups count. So as you'll see in the inset footage here, the 150 grain SMGs perform pretty well, and they were the least expensive ammunition that I had for this gun, so that's kind of what I've been shooting through it. So I have two different targets to show you. Here's one of my later targets, and that's at 100 yards. I'll pull the footage up just so you can see the perspective, and that's about a 1-inch group there. I'm pretty happy with that group. All right, let's go check it out. Hey guys, so we're gonna walk and talk here real quick. I don't know about y'all, I am terrible at sighting in guns. Absolute trash. So to help me, I bought a bore laser, and I made the mistake of checking my zero with the laser before I actually fired. So we're gonna see why you don't do that. Just so y'all can see here, it's my torso size target here. I'm shooting at 100 yards. Before I actually shot at the middle, I checked my bore laser and I was really off. So I adjusted it and I shot over here. Then I had to remake my adjustments with my bore laser, and I ended up over here. So then I did it the old-fashioned way. I guesstimated my distance because I forgot my tape measure, and I got this group, which is not wonderful. I did pull this last shot here. This is really the kind of groups you're seeing, which is about 1 inch. It's shooting right about there where I was aiming, and we're back in business. I also shot this group. Now there's 2 holes. I believe this group here is 2 rounds. If you look at it, it's a little bit cleaner than this hole was here. And for our next target, there's the other holes that I shot. So I'm gonna give this myself the benefit of the doubt that this group has 2 in the same hole and 1 flyer. I've noticed for me that a lot of my 3-shot groups, I usually have a flyer on my 2nd or 3rd shot. I'm working on getting better myself, but that's how I perform. As far as the other ammo that I shot, it was 140 grain SST interlock, and that's an 1.5 inch group at 100 yards. And as you can see, I'm shooting off a roll of duct tape on a plastic table on the side of the hill. I have a lot of words to say, but if I could sum it up, this rifle makes me look like a much better shooter than I am. Now, there's a couple other things that I think it really has going for it. Now, this rifle, because it's made in 1962, does not have a lot of the modern amenities that a newer rifle might have. This rifle's really sweet, so I can only point out 2. 1, this butt pad is hard plastic. You can hear that there. Also, it came with this fixed 6x scope. There's way better options out there now, so theoretically, if you wanted to squeeze better performance out of it, you could, like Vortex, Loophole, Primary Arms, Burris, Redfield. The list goes on and on and on. Basically, this scope is older than my dad, who's way older than me. I'm not gonna change it. I truly was thinking about changing it, but I am still, I don't know if you could tell, I'm so happy with these groups. I'm not changing it. I might say that a couple more times. As I was saying, some of the things that really help this rifle shoot well. 1, this was made in a time where American craftsmanship was above anything else, which I still think American craftsmanship is great, but this is a time when this rifle was the cat's meow and we used good barrel steel. This was not a price point rifle, and this was made with pride. Even when the rifle got hot, the groups did not open up, and I put a bunch of different types of ammo, even some that I didn't film, and the group size did not change. I'm not saying all rifles nowadays are like this, but if your barrel steel isn't as good quality, the groups are going to open up with heat. They are going to open up if they don't have ammo that they like. That excited me as a gun guy. Another thing that I really like is just how the stock fit me. It might not fit everyone, but you can see here, this rifle has a nice little cheek rest. So when I go to shoulder that rifle, it just comes right up. Like it feels like this rifle was made for me. If you've had a rifle like this, you know what I'm talking about. The next thing, like I said earlier, this action is really smooth. It's easy to work, and you don't feel like you got to muscle this gun at all. It's all butter, it's all finesse. And then finally, this trigger, I have some Geisley AR triggers, not even close to this. This feels like a gunsmith trigger, and maybe this gun did have some trigger work to it, but from what I've read, these rifles all are supposed to have a wonderful trigger. So I'll take a look with me. Pull, 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 pull. Barely any pull. It can't be more than 3.5 pounds of trigger. It's so smooth, it's so crisp, and it's such a short travel. So all these things put together, it's so, like, it's easy to shoot this rifle. My flabbers are gasted. All right, so I'm done drooling over this. What would I use it for? So number one, I think if you're a gun guy, you should just own one of these. If you're not a hunter and you just appreciate guns, instead of buying another AR build, get one of these. I cannot speak as much for the modern ones because I haven't shot them, but at least these pre-64s are from the golden age of America, when American craftsmanship was American craftsmanship. 270 Winchester in this rifle runs like a dream. I imagine other calibers would work as well too. Now, all right, this wouldn't be my channel if we didn't do a little bit of ballistic testing. So we got a couple cans of pears down there. One thing I've heard from more modern 270s is the copper bullets don't work as well in this. I'm not super worried about the copper bullets. I don't actually use copper bullets myself. I just use cup and core. At this point in my life, I'm more just a gun nerd, gun collector, and I like to bring them to the range to shoot. That doesn't mean I don't love hunting. It just means that what I have time for and the way my life works right now, I'm mostly just a marksman. With that being said, inside 300 yards, 270 is an awesome caliber. Make sure you get good quality bullets and practice with them. And if you can thread the needle with this gun, which it's 100% capable of doing, you can take most game. I wouldn't necessarily try to shoot a moose or a grizzly bear with it. I would step up to something, at least its older brother, the 30-06, but I would feel confident hunting with this rifle in most of North America. Another thing this rifle is good for is its heirloom quality. This rifle is, like I said, it's so beautiful. The fit and finish is awesome. It's so smooth, and it's something that new school guns don't have, unless you want to spend a couple grand. Now, is this a defense rifle or a go-to-war rifle? Now, I got two answers for you. In 1898, when this was made, through World War I and into World War II, yes, the Mauser 98 was used by Germans and other European countries to fight. Nowadays, it's not that way. However, can you shoot this gun fast? Yes. Should you shoot it fast? No. If you have a gun like this, guys, take care of it. Make sure it's good for the next generation. And with that, I just kind of want to bleed into some final thoughts. If you end up with a gem from an older family member, make sure you take care of it. At first, I wanted to just leave this gun as an heirloom gun and a wall hanger because it was in near mint condition. But this thing has teeth. It's meant to go on an adventure. It's meant to harvest animals. And this was the legendary outdoorsman Jack O'Connor's go-to rifle and go-to caliber. All right, guys, my name is Half-Cocked Hillbilly. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more. Yeah, I'll see y'all real soon. Bye. Has what's called a